I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Starting off with, of course, Danny's down bad. This year we got to watch an Icarus-level fall from fame when the former That 70s Show star Danny Masterson was found guilty and slapped with a sentence of 30 to life for the physical violation of 2 women more than 20 years ago. This is your reminder that karma comes your way whether you're ready or not. And it came for Masterson hard. At 47, he was convicted by the California courts, refusing to make a statement while there, even when the 2 women he was convicted of violating urged the judge in front of him to issue a harsher sentence. Naturally, bad brought out worse when trying to seek some leniency in prison. Masterson's asked former co-stars Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis to write him a good faith letter. Prison wardens read these over, and if you make a compelling enough case or have enough good word put in for you, they may grant certain privileges or protections for you as a prisoner. Wait until the day you get a call from a cousin asking for one of these. Awkward. Anyways, yeah, the internet found out about this and how they actually fulfilled the request and absolutely flamed the couple for daring to help Masterson in any way, especially given Kutcher's own non-profit work being based around protecting women from this. Speaking of slippery slopes though, next segment is the ski trial. Gwyneth Paltrow's appearance on the witness stand in a televised trial in March treated us to some meme-worthy moments, but more than anything, a loud and public display of taxpayer money being wasted by the wealthy over trivial disputes that normally wouldn't have gone on that long or as far. But rich folks like to haggle, they like drama, they like taking money, especially from other people with money. So when millionaire Paltrow slammed into a retired 76-year-old optometrist, Terry Sanderson, he saw flashing lights and a payday. He sued the snake oil saleswoman for $300,000 after he said she running into him in 2016 while at the Utah resort left him with broken ribs, a concussion, and brain trauma. As mentioned, total circus. Everyone was so excited about all the celebrities present and the amount of big money in the room that the focus was completely skewed. Some of the questions Paltrow received were valid, while others were not, like what Christmas gifts she sent to Taylor Swift. Paltrow, the Nepo baby, called the lawsuit an attempt to exploit her celebrity and wealth, and said on the stand that the collision caused her to miss half a day of skiing with a sore knee. The tragedy. Yet somehow the jury ultimately found the Goop founder not guilty and said Sanderson was at fault in the crash. The 76-year-old man who can barely see. Speaking of Nepo babies, this next one was in a show so bad it was cancelled immediately. Plenty of productions are home to on-set conflicts, but few are as messy as The Idol, HBO's fever dream of an intercourse cult drama that was so bad the show was a meme before it could even launch. Naturally, that was a pretty good indication that it was gonna get the scrap after only 5 episodes of the first season, and validly so. Months before it premiered last summer, a dishy Rolling Stone expose claimed that the creator Sam Levinson and The Weeknd were presiding over a toxic, chaotic, over-objectifying workplace. It went from satire to being the thing it was satirizing, said one source, referencing how the show's message is about big-name Hollywood producers and stars taking advantage of cult-like fame and power to manipulate and violate those starting off in the industry, and that is exactly what happened on set. Levinson and The Weeknd, instead of addressing the reports, decided to be edgy, the way they thought young folk would dig it, by just posting a sneak peek clip from the show wherein Lily Rose Depp's character called Rolling Stone a little bit irrelevant. That's it. That's how they addressed this. Naturally, they knew letting the production similarly get bad press to what the show's content was meant that people would tune in to see what all the fuss is about. And they did, only to be absconded with writing so feral it felt like actual satire. The only saving grace was the acting skill of Lily Rose Depp, whose career is now on the rise, while The Weeknd's seems to come crashing down. But while one singer proved he isn't a writer, another became a bestseller. Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me, continues to top non-fiction bestseller lists with some eye-opening moments from the pop superstar's life. She reflects on her cringy ex-boyfriend, Justin Timberlake, and the time he said faux shiz and pretended to be black a bunch, and how he pushed her into terminating a pregnancy she wanted to keep, and the psychological blowback of that, especially once the relationship ended, and he went on a full-scale public smear campaign of the girl. Britney also touched on shaving her head in 2007 for the first time, the Notebook movie near miss, her spicy fling with Colin Farrell, of all people, and facing restrictions on her finances, appearance, living situation, relationship, and diet while living in conservationship administered by her father. The book sold 1.1 million copies domestically in its first week alone. No wonder Spears is already planning a second. You may remember this one from the back end of 2022, but it followed into this year and was the talk of the town for our older audiences. It's the on-air affair. Amy Robach and TJ Holmes' scandal began at the end of 2022 when the world learned that the Good Morning American co-hosts were cheating on their spouses with each other. As announced recently, recently by the pair on their Amy and TJ podcast, they were ready to go public with their romance before they were outed as a couple. They'd even drafted statements in regards to their new relationships and divorces. Now, on December 5th, 2022, the duo were temporarily removed from the daytime television program as gossip about them reached a fever pitch. Even though Roback 50 and Holmes 46 had drafted respective statements to explain their sides of the story, they refrained from sharing them in order to not exasperate the drama. Maybe it would have been better if we had just released the statements, admitted Roback, but we were trying to keep our jobs. The drama reverberated into 2023 when ABC president Kim Goodwin announced that the pair were leaving GMA. Not so amicably. The departure of the beloved Good Morning America co-hosts over the scandal caused uproar, but the couple didn't fight back. Instead, they launched a podcast together, and on the release date of their first episode, Page 6 revealed that according to sources, Amy and TJ's estranged spouses, Marley and Andrew Shue, are now dating. It's a twist worthy of Jesse Armstrong, or at least Bravo. And speaking of affair, this one happened right in front of this poor actress's face. It's Scandal. So, a reality TV scandal with a snappy nickname. That's a recipe for rubbernecking drama if I've ever seen it. If you weren't a Vanderpump Rules fan, to fill you in, the controversy was over Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix, the two longtime stars from the Bravo reality show. They'd been dating for 9 years. Without warning, in March, it's revealed they broke up. And it turns out it's because Sandoval had been cheating on his girl of 9 damn years with her best friend and co-star Raquel Leviss. Ouch. Not only is the affair confirmed, but much of the aftermath plays out on a public Vanderpump Rules reunion, Instagram, and then podcasts. Maddox now says she has no interaction with Sandoval or Leviss. Meanwhile, Leviss had a complete breakdown over the consequences of her own actions and quit the show before checking herself into a mental health facility. All the while, the man in the middle, Sandoval, is still holding on, still making problems and statements about how he fought so hard for Leviss and was fully in love with her, but she shooed him away when the scandal broke. Should've shoot his ass off a cliff, girl. A scandal that had people furious, disappointed, and shocked was the tall tales of Hassan Minhaj. This former Daily Show correspondent, Patriot Act host Hassan Minhaj was seemingly within spitting distance of being named Trevor Noah's successor in Comedy Central's late night series. But what could have been an incredible moment of progress was quashed the second the New Yorker asked Hassan if he had consciously embellished stories about experiencing discrimination for being Islamic and receiving an envelope filled with white, mysterious powder at a stand-up show. And in the biggest blow imaginable, Minhaj admitted he had. Although he argued what mattered more was the emotional truth of what he was saying, and soon, the prospective Daily Show host was out of the running for the gig. Although Minhaj released a follow-up video in which he tried to defend himself, the damage, it seems, has been done. This is a betrayal in the sense that it's already so hard for people of color to get their voices heard or understood when it comes to facing discrimination. For someone to lie about that is one more reason for others on the outside to try and invalidate or completely disregard these experiences. Up next, more letdowns. We have the case of the Lizzo lawsuit. This is one of those tennis match style scandals, bouncing back and forth between whodunits. Essentially, what happened was 3 former backup dancers for the singer Lizzo filed a lawsuit against her in August, alleging adulterous harassment and creating a hostile work environment. The lawsuit also named Shailene Quigley, the lead dance coach, for her adulterous harassment, as well as extreme religious harassment. This is a really weird lawsuit, guys. One dancer has alleged that Lizzo has shamed her for gaining weight. Another cites the time Lizzo invited them to a nude performance club in Amsterdam, and then they went out of fear of losing their jobs. While there, Lizzo began leading a chant to get one of the female dancers to touch the performer's bare breasts on stage, which is wild, but not as much as the whole Lizzo catching bananas performers were launching at their hoo-ha bit. Seriously, read this lawsuit if you haven't, it's insane. In a filing in October, Lizzo's lawyers asked the court to throw out the dancer's claim, citing the SLAPP statute against frivolous lawsuits, with Lizzo herself calling the accusations in the lawsuit false and outrageous. This lawsuit, though, has yet to conclude. So many celebrities are falling down this year, and one of them is more deserved than others. It's Diddy's going down. In a federal lawsuit filed in New York City in November, the rapper and music executive was accused by the singer Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, of SA, physical violence, and coercing her into substance use during their 11-year relationship. Her lawsuit brought witness after witness. Her mother, who watched Diddy scream and berate Cassie and feared the man herself. Then Kid Cudi, who dated Cassie once she'd escaped Diddy, and as a result, Diddy blew up his car. You may remember the videos Diddy would post specifically to psychologically torment her. Famously the one where Cassie's on the floor hiding under a blanket while Diddy's cold, emotionally devoid voice questions, "Aw, what's wrong? Being dramatic?" and other quips that will literally send shivers down your spine. Like almost every human being to ever try and go against Diddy, Cassie amicably settled within 24 hours. If you do a little googling, this is pretty much how every Diddy lawsuit goes. But what Cassie did was open the floodgates. She knew she may not receive justice and that this would happen, but she knew she could blow the war horn, and by doing so, backup would come. In the aftermath of the settlement, Diddy has since had 3 other lawsuits filed against him by women, with more coming. All cases of SA or being ST'd, as cases go far back as 1991. Combs released a statement on December 6th denying each of the sickening allegations against him, saying enough is enough. And he's right, enough will be enough, but only when he's behind bars, playing prison poker with Kelly. Our last scandal of 2023, the one that topped the year without a doubt, is Someone Save Smith. The affair, the book, the slap, the woman that just can't seem to close her damn mouth. 2023 has been the year of watching Jada Pinkett, intentionally or otherwise, completely demolish her husband's career. Whether you like Pinkett or not, this is a fact that actually can't be denied, as Will Smith's rating, availability, everything have plummeted. No matter how hard he tries to handle the situation, if he backs off, if he gets, pun intended, hands on, it doesn't work. As it turns out, the Oscar slap was just the beginning of an already very underway scandal. Jada Pinkett Smith, catalyst for the smack that led to her husband's 10-year expulsion from the Academy Awards, has had a whole lot to say about the incident and her marriage in her book Worthy, a memoir released in October. As Pinkett Smith hit the publicity circuit, she dropped bombshell after bombshell, but all of them at the expense of her husband, with a very thin veil of no, I'm talking about myself actually laid over top of it. The biggest bit of drama somehow came not from her cheating, then making him sit at the table and talk to her about her cheating, then writing a book about her cheating. It was actually when Pinkett announced she and Smith had been separated for years before the fateful Oscar night. In fact, now she's saying that slap may have saved the marriage we just found out had already ended. So hats off to the author for finding a new umpteenth angle on something that we thought had already been analyzed to death. And that's the end of another Where Are They Now video. I sure hope you enjoyed. Take time to like, share, and of course, comment down below.